Well, video time. Hello, hello, hello. So I had a very interesting night of very vivid dreams, as clear as you could think in color. I had even free associating. I don't even know where that was. First thing to come to your mind when you think of a dream you had. So it was truly amazing. Hmm. Showed trees miles and miles would be clear as a bell, but very tiny. Looking at that great distance, very flat. A lot of color and green and that kind of stuff. I mean, wow, that was a hell of a dream. So I got up in the middle of the night, drink of water, go to the bathroom, like we all do. Tried to get back to sleep, couldn't, so I took a piece of Xanax, about a quarter of a tablet of 0.05. That helped a bit. I got up early and then had breakfast and coffee. I felt kind of off. So coming here around 8 bells, 8 o'clock, decided to lay down again, just on the floor, and I fell asleep and had more vivid dreams. Solid is real. That's so real. I don't know. Somebody was having a relationship problem, and I interjected about something about a homeless lady that I mentioned in previous videos I'd had Christmas with in New Westminster, British Columbia, Canada. I was giving him and his friend advice. It was so real, it was unbelievable. That was in the Oracle room where I laid down. Not feeling that chipper today, oh well. Don't know. Kind of drained, but I'd like to see more progress here, but everything costs and time and all that. Oh well. I don't know. So Mighty Mouse, thanks for the pictures of the vacuum tubes. I have thousands myself, and I'm using all my resources to get more equipment. What I could suggest for you is you package them up and check on eBay. Get an eBay account, open it up, and sell them on eBay. I just don't have the money anymore, so you could do that. Sell them in batches, and I'm sure you don't know how to test them, but look at them very carefully. I mean, check out those numbers and see what the values of them are at the Tube Depot, for instance, or just check on eBay. Search eBay for those numbers, and they will come up. Some will be low cost, some will be high cost. So you want to make sure you get lots of money for your vacuum tubes. Thanks for the offer. It's gonna be interesting for sure. So the camera situation is still improving here. They're going to put more sensitive cameras in, infrared and all that. Fine, very high, the highest definition with sound. So whenever all this gets going, there'll be a lot of fun things to look at, I'm sure. Supposed to have gone to Petaluma today, but we didn't go. To get things, things I need, but hopefully sometime. And then Fair Radio, then something on eBay. I'm trying to raise a couple of $100 to buy it. And one of those things, the problem is this stuff is scarce. Sometimes it's pricey, sometimes it's not. If you don't act, it could disappear and you'd never find another one for another several years maybe. It's an issue. So I wrote some friends to help with a couple $100. See where that helps. Huh, okay, so I mean these things are rare and they only come once in a while and not too many people buy them, but again, if they go or disappear then if somebody buys them then you gotta wait forever for something to show up again maybe. And maybe not, I don't know. So that's my little speech for now. I mean lack of I just don't have enough to run the whole lab yet, so unlike the days in Vancouver when the stuff was everywhere and it was cheap and you could buy it with hardly any money. And a lot of it was free too, so thanks to Chaos Mod Electrical Machinery and Convoy Electrical Machinery, simply donated it and delivered it too. So, oh, I had stuff delivered from Fair Radio from fans years ago. They'd be coming this way and take a visit. Oh, we picked this up for you. Okay, cool. So that happened, and recently somebody I bought a Collins, rare Collins, only 12 of them were made, used in the Apollo project in the 60s. Big thing, 125 pounds, off of eBay, and the price was reasonable. I bought it, and the guy says, "Oh, well, this is pretty heavy. I don't know, you know." And then I mentioned about Fair Radio. Oh, I live close to Fair Radio. I can deliver it to them because you're getting a pallet load of stuff delivered to you. So he did that. That was very kind of him. The other gentleman, I met several good people on eBay who help out, buy it for $75 instead of hundreds of dollars, but you pay for shipping, which is not too bad. I mean, shipping could be a couple $100 for something that's 100 pounds or more. And my buddy in way back east there, who like me and with all his stuff, he's very fair in his stuff as well. So anyway, that's the life of a junk collector, overglorified scrap collector. I don't know, but feeling a bit these days. Oh well, as Ken Shoulders would always say. Yeah, Ken was an amazing person. I miss him lots. So I think nice communicating with Bob Greener, who's did some analysis of some metal samples and might publish the results sometime. Hopefully in a video. Yesterday I was fairly active. Today I haven't done anything really. Didn't feel like it. Oh well. All I did was work on a Stark lathe, STARK lathe number 4, and looked it over a little bit and went through my end mills and put those in categories like expanding mills and all of those in different categories. So some years ago I really lucked out and got a huge amount of stuff. They just wanted to get rid of it. I got it on eBay actually, 750 pounds of goodies. Machine tools like big drill bits, all the way down to tiny ones. So that was a good score. had a 4-inch drill bit. I think I got a 3-inch. It's just actually in reach if I can open this door without knocking my iPad over. Oops. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm gonna. 3-inch, maybe under 3 inches. I don't know. Oh, it's a drill bit. They're all sharp too. I wonder how much this thing costs brand new, huh? I'm gonna say high-speed steel. That fits my lathe perfect, actually. Quite heavy. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 flutes. And I believe you have a hole already in there. It's not for drilling a hole, it's for expanding a hole. I know the name of these. I have a whole crate of them. All different sizes down to little fellas. I'm going to read it. Stamped letters there, but I have to clean it up so I could read it. So I think I got about 500 pounds of these. This is the biggest fellow. Very brittle too. Awesome stuff. Anyway, I'll show that off today. That's a good one. I have used, I have used smaller ones in the big lathe. Big lathe will handle this one. On number 5, Morris taper, number 6, number 5. I think. Oh well. Yeah, today is a day of. What other mechanical mysteries are there? Well, I was examining something. Well, no. It was a tailstock for the Stark lathe, and it looks like a straight hole in there, not a Morris taper. I thought it was Morris taper 3, but I don't know what's going on there, but I thought I'd pull this fellow up. This is indeed a lathe. I got a bunch of these in a crate. Collet, takes collets. Tailstock. Serves for very fine work. And I do have milling attachments, compounds for these kind of lathes, all kinds of them. And very old and very new, some of them quite new. I got a D-bed, what do they call it, D-bed, shaped like a D, with all the attachments for that, so. Unless you're a portable lathe, you could be a machinist, you know. Just pick it up and go to work, if you're doing small stuff, but very, very, very fine. I think it's kind of cool. I like that kind of stuff. Got these about 10 years ago on eBay. Now they're probably worth a lot more, I think. I don't know. I don't know what the interest is these days. So that's fun stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, yesterday I was, of course, I was more flamboyant. I was feeling better then. I think I got a bit of laryngitis too. I don't know. Kind of like some words don't quite make it. I don't know the answer. More supplements. Bye. So the weather is kind of weird. It was cold, cool in the morning. I think it's warm now, but big jump from 108 down to whatever it is outside now, which I don't know. Wow, greasy, but oh well, that's okay. Yeah, so I'm not making much good sense today. I'm not that funny today. I'm sorry, but oh well. Oh well. What do you do? I don't know. Sometimes when I feel off, I take a piece only of Tylenol and a quarter of a Xanax. Oh, I'm not making anybody happy with this kind of video. It's kind of boring. It's a big compound rest off a lathe, a big lathe. Wow. What else can I talk about? Something I can show and tell, maybe, huh? Hmm. I'll try. This was available to grab, so I think I grabbed it before a few times over the years, months. I believe this is off of HMCS Yukon. See the exotic patterns in that. Works up to 18 gigahertz, receiving as well as transmitting. It's very exotic. As you see a Navy ship with a big dome up top, it might have one of these in it. Actually had two, one a little one and a big one. They were mounted like this, okay? Inside on a framework. And below it was a dish on an angle. um, several square feet that would spin around really fast. So it gave a Doppler effect just for radar analyzer as well as friend or foe in analysis. This is all relatively some vacuum tube and some solid state stuff on these ships. I don't know if Columbia, I think Columbia had one of these too. There was Mackenzie, Columbia, Yukon, and Saskatchewan, the ship, 4 ships I worked on for 5 years. Can we find anything here in writing? I got all the plates somewhere on this stuff, as well as the actual amplifier and decoders parts, pieces. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Four inputs and outputs. Now, I bet these things could tell a hell of a story. I got the amplifiers, I had to mention it. I got the amplifiers and receiver parts for this guy. Note the unique shape and how they knew about wave formations and propagation. Pretty smart people that made these. Quite heavy. So I used out in Vancouver. Once I hooked up all the amplifiers. 115 volts AC, but the AC was super high frequency. About 800 cycles per second. Some of it's 3-phase. Let's say 400 cycle 3-phase, 112 volts or 115 volts for aircraft stuff and radar systems and analyzers. So there was quite a number of antennas on those ships that I actually took off. They're quite light, actually. You see them on my balcony, some of them. I had that balcony in Vancouver. Very exotic patterns. That's where I learned about making more or better VLF antennas. They had a way of making the antenna only 15 feet long, but had also the back section of it could take up your VLF reception and transmission as well. I mean, you can look it up in Wikipedia, HMCS Yukon or Saskatchewan, Mackenzie, Columbia. They tell you the armaments and their radar systems, analyzers, and radio analyzers, friend or foe, radar, friend or foe, and all that cool stuff, as well as sonar. They find that kind of interesting, and there's very little information on this stuff on the internet. I scored some pictures of it and some history and what they are. In the apartment was a big rotating ear you might have seen. That's another countermeasure system that was good for 300 megacycles, up to 300 megacycles. It was an analyzer. That was a fun thing to have. I'm sorry I got rid of it. But oh well. Certain things happen, you know. I was on how many TV shows? A lot of TV shows. They always wanted to see the spinning ear. It was all light too, and I dismantled it off the superstructure piece by piece with my tools tied to ropes. So if I dropped the tool, it wouldn't fall down on the deck. As well as I roped myself in, plus all the parts I was removing were all roped. Small ropes, just dangle them off, lower them down. It was quite an engineering. In my shorts, too. And people thought, what is he doing? But the deal was, I take care of all the electronics, all the armaments on these warships without payment. The only payment is what I was interested in. That was good enough for me, and what I could learn was good enough for me, too. So little Johnny Cupcake had a good time. How long have I been talking for? 25 minutes. That was a lot of fun. I was offered a job after that. Consultant on this stuff. Working with West Roots. Traveled the world, but to me that's takes away the fun of what I was actually doing, so I didn't take that job opportunity up along with many others. Prince Hans Adam Liechtenstein offering me to move to Toronto and he fund everybody. Again, no, it's just took the fun out of what I was doing actually. The other was with Timmy Ventura, American Anti-Gravity, and his group at the Pentagon people. A long email, which I copied it. I said I'm flattered, but again, it just spoils my life in a way. I have many weird interests, and I'd go from one thing to another thing around and back and forth, just one of those things. Anyway, just one of those things. Who in the right mind would, well, never mind. I don't think I'm in a right mind. I'm in an obscure mind. My mind is very obscure. Huh. Obscure. Anybody say my dream vacation? You won a vacation to Greece, to Athens, Greece, to the Mr. Alex Scrapyard. All expenses paid. Oh, that would be the ultimate vacation for me. Never mind old buildings. Never mind Egypt. Never mind this and that, or just that scrapyard. Yummy. I bought, I don't know, how many pounds? Probably a ton from overseas. What did my friend say it was? All those armrests and Oerlikon cannon parts, sights, armrests of 800 kilos. Must be 800 kilos here. He sent me pictures of an apartment totally full of the stuff, which he's kind enough to ship over many months, and I owe him some money, but I'll figure that out. Yeah, it was quite a time. Then next was Mr. Alex Scrapyard sending big bronze Oerlikon cannon mounts. I think that's got to be a ton of stuff. The most recent is just over there. A gyro compass stand, solid bronze. Always gives me a good deal. And what else? Hand wheels, brass hand wheels for elevating cannons and stuff. Yeah, that was awesome. I even phoned him. I talked to him at night, morning time, his time. His wife would translate. I used Skype. I didn't have to pay money. But some of my Sent some of my friends over there to get stuff as well. I get a lot of museum ships always sending emails. Oh, do you have this or that? Well, actually, I do. You want to trade for it or something? Something unique that you don't need and have many of? Oh, they offered Mark 14 gun sights. Well, I have a lot of those, plus a calibrator to calibrate them. The Bishop's Hat, it's called. I was always remember that was on eBay for a very low price. Bidding on it. Nobody bid on it, so I put a bid on and won it within seconds. One of those fast bidding things. I've done that a number of times and won a lot of good stuff that way too. Oh well, so this cookie's got to go and do a few things before I go for dinner time. Oh yeah, dreams and psychic stuff. I mean, this was so real. It's like I was right there. You wake up and you wonder, what in the name of heaven, where was I for a few seconds, you know? Happens often too. Many people, I don't know who they are, and I've tried and free associate it, and I can't really get a handle on that yet. Although with the dream today, I believe was Billy Ross. He had black hair, like EVO. Maybe it was EVO, and it morphed into Billy Ross. He's having relationship difficulties, and I intervened and mentioned all the good things that happened. Had to deal with that lady that I dated. Christmas time, Christmas Eve, we just hung out by the bus stop with coffee and that. That was my Christmas Eve in New Westminster. There was a number of homeless that would have coffee next to Dr. Danny's health food store, and I joined them for coffee and we talked. It was interesting. Interesting people, actually, with a lot of history and timelines. Somebody mentioned something about timelines. Everything has a timeline. A timeline is it's billions of them, let's say, if not trillions or quadrillions. All travel around in a circular pattern around like a helix around the main part, which is the speed of light, which has one timeline. According to Albert Einstein. I used to draw this stuff out on big sheets of paper. I was fascinated by all that cosmological information. Always have been. I got to see later on a lot of things that nobody's seen. The DESY documents, red booklets on all these atomic particles. Gottfried Hilscher in Munich loaned them to me, but had to return them. And the student, how did that work? He wanted to do something with drawing up diagrams. Still got that. What's his name? I forget his name, but it's on the paper. All these hand-drawn stuff and photographs of metal samples and all that. This is 1989 or 88 and 89 time frame. What's this say on it? It's called Rough Draft. Hutchison Effect, Rough Draft, Desi, somebody named Brent. I haven't looked in years, so I got it somewhere, I guess. Well, on that note, I should get going. I'm going for a smoke. Always posing. I am. Good to pose even if you're not feeling good. Oh, John, spread those chops. Oh, John, spread those chops. I am the man examines hangers. Oh, we're going to go there today, John, when you're not feeling